Hello, and welcome to another live episode on the Walk and Power podcast. Welcome back to all of my incredible viewers. And if you are new here, welcome to the Walk and Power community, where we aim to inspire, encourage, and lift up Black women in leadership. Oh, let me tell y'all something. I am so happy that I found that little timer because I love that it just gives me a minute to breathe before just jumping right in. So, shout out to StreamYard for making podcasting easier for women like me, women who don't want to have to figure out tech, figure out cameras, figure out all the other things, but for creating a tool that we can use to share our message around the world. So thank you, StreamYard, for that. How y'all doing today? I'm hot. It has been a day. Let me tell you, I don't know what's happening. Hey, Ernst, what's up? Oh, wait, sis, why is coming up as your husband's name? Hey, sis. Hey, Nancy. How you doing, sis? How is everyone doing today? I have been hey Regina. I love you, girl. I love you for tuning in with me. So it has been a hot day. It has been, but it's also been like a dope day. I don't know what the universe is doing, but I have definitely been grandma-ing more often than usual. But that's something that I also prayed for is more time with my family and friends. And I've definitely been spending a lot more time with my granddaughter over the past few weeks. But that girl be wearing me out. She want me down on the ground. She want me digging up salamanders. She want me down in the lake in the pond with her to rub some ducks' heads, to catch fish, to do sidewalk chalk. The girl got energy, okay? And I try to tell her, listen, I know your grandma's young, but my knees don't need like they used to need, baby. I can't do all these things you want me to do. So it's been a long day. I spent the day with my granddaughter and my mom, who has been having a hard time for the past few days. And I just felt in my heart that I needed to go and spend time with my mom and just give her, pour some of my love into her. Thank you for your comment. Thank you. Pour some love all over my mom today. So we spent some time today walking around the pond. And you know, when you're a busy person, sometimes it's hard to take a step back because the first thing we think of is all the things we need to accomplish, all the things we need to do, all the things we could be doing instead of the thing that we, you know, probably definitely should do, right? Which is number one, taking care of ourselves, but the other is spending quality time with the people that we love. So even though it ran through my mind today about all the things that I needed to get done, I knew how important it was to spend that quality time with my mom and my grandmother. And the other thing is the reason why we won't do the things that we don't believe are going to contribute to our success. You know, the success is do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work. Is because we don't trust that we will get there. So we just keep our heads down doing the work. Meanwhile, we're tired, and there's people who need us, who are desiring more of our time and energy, even ourselves, who need ourselves, who are desiring more of our time and energy towards ourselves. And the more we ignore those things, they deteriorate, right? The relationship deteriorates, the relationship with your loved ones deteriorate, but more importantly, the relationship with yourself deteriorates when we continue to put it off, saying, I can do that later because I have more important things to do. So I say that to encourage you to make sure that you are creating and making space to spend quality time with yourself as well as those you love, because you'll never regret it. Even though I'm tired, it felt really good to do that today. So I hope that you find some time this week to do something great, something that feels good, something that contributes to filling your cup. So, you know what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about 10 valuable lessons that I learned in my 30s. So, why am I doing this show tonight? Well, my birthday is on Friday. This Friday, I will be 41 years old. And you might say, well, then you've been left your 30s. But the reality is 40 is the end of 30s, right? 41 is the turning point. 41 is the turning point where we are now entering a new era, a new decade, right? A new style. Just everything changes as you step into that new decade of your life. And I started thinking, well, I would love to share something about what I've learned. And like I said, I'm sharing 10 valuable lessons, but I'm telling you, there were so many more lessons than 10. But for the sake of time and our energy and our attention span, I'm going to share just 10 of them with you this evening. And if there are any of the points that I'm sharing here today, thank you, sis. Thank you. If there are any of the points that I'm sharing here today that you can relate with, put them hands up. You know, show me a hand. Give me a sign that listen, I can relate. Because you all know that the one thing that really keeps my energy up doing this podcast is talking to you. Let me know if you ever have any issues throughout the show of hearing me, because I'm noticing that there's like this flickering thing going on. And technology will technology, but we have no control over that. So I'm just going to push through and do what I got to do, right? Take a sip of water. So I want to start tonight with lesson number 10. It was kind of hard to put these in orders, but I knew what the lessons number 1 and 2 was. So I put those up there first. So it was kind of hard to put these in order. And again, it was like I said, it was kind of hard to really choose 10 because there are so many more. But I'm going to start with number 10. But before we get started, y'all, let me light my little candle because, you know, it really sets the tone and the smell. This is a green apple candle that just smells so amazing and just helps me to feel so relaxed. So I forgot to light my candle before we got started. So let's take a breath. It's been a long day, y'all. Take a deep breath. Listen to your breath. Feel your breath. Listen to your heartbeat. Whatever it takes to just help you feel more centered this evening as we prepare to wrap up. Whatever that is, do that thing. All right, I'm going to jump in now. I probably said that 3 times already. So, lesson number 10 is manifestation requires action. Now, years ago, we started hearing about manifest. You have to manifest it. We're manifesting this, we're manifesting that. And it really became like this buzzword. So for me, it was like, okay, yeah, I want to manifest a good job and I want to manifest health and I want to manifest money and I want to manifest a healthy relationship. And then you would think, I was thinking, because the way that it was being put out is, as long as I say it, then it will happen, right? So I'm just saying all the things. Oh, make sure that you are manifesting and speaking your affirmations. And, you know, but people don't tell you the truth behind manifestations and affirmations. You can say you want anything. You can say, I want a healthy relationship. I want to make more money. I want to be healthier. You can say those things. But what I learned over the years is that saying it is not enough, right? They say manifestations is saying something that you believe. That if you say you want to manifest it, it's a belief, and then it'll come true. But that's only half of it. Right? They tell us half of the secret, right? Half of the magic to manifestation. Manifestation requires action. You can say it, you can think it, you can envision it. But if you're not taking any of the actions required to actually make that thing happen, to actually make that thing a reality, baby, it's not going to happen. And that was something I had to learn much later in life was, wait a minute, I got to do something different. I have to take different actions if I want that thing to happen. And it's the reason, I struggled to take different actions, they challenged me. They were hard. And in the episode I talked about last week is nobody likes hard things. And that's just facts. Nobody wants to do hard things. Nobody wakes up and says, oh, today I'm going to do something hard. I mean, it just doesn't happen, right? And so when I speak about my goals, when I speak about my dreams, I also have to take the actions that are going to allow me to truly make those things come into my life, make those things a reality. That goes along with the biblical term that faith without works is dead, right? Saying that I believe this will happen for me. I believe that this will be the thing that happens in my life. I believe that this is the life I'm going to live. But then not taking any action or doing any of the work required to make that thing a reality, it's falling on deaf ears, right? It's falling on deaf ears in the universe. It's falling on deaf ears for God, and it's falling on deaf ears for yourself. When you take actions that align with the things that you're saying you want to manifest, your actions confirms your belief. Your action confirms your words. When you take that action, it's saying, I want this thing, and the action I'm taking says I can truly have it. The action I'm taking says I can make this happen. I have the power to make this happen in my life. So I believe that it's for me. I believe that it's possible. I see it, I feel it, I smell it, and I'm going after it. I'm taking the actions. I'm stepping forward into what I want to see in my life. And so that was a really huge lesson for me is that anything you want, you can have it. But just believing it and just saying it is never going to be enough. What do you think? What are your thoughts around yes, right? So definitely, like your actions confirm your belief. Your actions confirm your thoughts. Just like let's say the opposite. Let's say the opposite. If you don't believe that you are worthy, if you don't believe that you are worthy of healthy relationships, if you don't believe that you are worthy of a great career, a great life, you'll do things and take actions that align with that belief that'll keep you right where you are, right? And so the opposite is true. If you're believing for more, then we have to do more in order to have more in our lives. Oh, I like that. If you want more, we have to do more in order to have more in our lives. That was a little bar right there. That was a little bar right there. All right, let's go to number nine. Let's go to number nine. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, girl. And so next is huh, we've always heard, and this is something I heard when I was in therapy too. And if you've heard it, let me know. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what that really says is that in life, we're going to have to do uncomfortable things, take uncomfortable action, make uncomfortable decisions, say uncomfortable things, and so on and so forth. And so the goal with get comfortable with being uncomfortable goes with listen, you might as well just get comfortable and get used to the fact that you're going to have to do some uncomfortable things in order to create the life that you want for yourself. And I agree with that. However, what my saying is, and what's one lesson I also had to learn was I had to get uncomfortable with being comfortable. For many years of my life, I got really comfortable with my mediocre job because the paycheck was coming every week and the bill was paid. I got really comfortable in my unhealthy relationship because it was like, you know what, unhealthy relationship, because it was like, you know what, at least I got somebody, right? And so sometimes we get so comfortable, and that comfortability leads to complacency, leads to unhappiness, leads to resentment, leads to us living unhealthy lives because we've just gotten so comfortable with what we've been given, right? With the cards we've been dealt. It's almost like, that's just the way things are. That's just the way my life is supposed to be. Maybe I'm not meant to do anymore. And we've gotten so comfortable with a little. We've gotten so comfortable with the little that the thought of having more, the thought of being bigger, the thought of being great just seems so outlandish because why would I want to do all of that? I've heard people say to me like, "No, I don't need all of that." Yet I also hear them complain about the life that they live, right? So we have to get uncomfortable with being comfortable. If you're in a place where you're just comfortable, chances are you're not growing. You're not expanding. You're not learning new things. You're not developing your mind. You're not developing your body. You're not developing your skills because you've chosen comfort over the challenge, right? And so we have to learn how to get uncomfortable with being comfortable. And when I learned how to get uncomfortable with being comfortable, that's when I got real uncomfortable. Like when I stopped feeling comfortable in my job, I realized I hate this place. I don't want to be here. I'm not happy here. This is not who I am. This does not align with the vision that I had for my life. But for so many years, because I was comfortable, I just accepted it as my fate. But when I decided to get uncomfortable with mediocrity, with just enough, everything changed. The relationship I was in, I was like, this ain't for me. I'm better than this. I don't want this. I don't want no comfortable relationship where I'm not growing, where we're not growing together. We're not doing big things together. We're not thinking about the future. I don't want that comfortable ass relationship. I want something big. I want a relationship that challenges me, that encourages me, that inspires me to be the greatest version of myself every single day. Right? And so learning how to get uncomfortable with being comfortable was definitely one of my most valuable lessons because now I don't do anything that seems like it's just going to be easy because I know that if I'm doing something that's just going to seem to be that just seems like, oh, that's just going to be easy, it's not stretching me, it's not growing me, and it's not moving me in the right direction. So pretty much every step I take in my life, in my business, there's really no comfort in it. There really isn't. And to be honest, even being here on this podcast after 8 p.m., where I would usually be in my bed, passed out, it's not comfortable, but it's enjoyable, right? Or isn't that something that's so uncomfortable? Like I really like to sleep. I really like to go to bed and get a full 8 hours of sleep at night. But I enjoy being here. So I'm okay with the discomfort of it, right? And so that was dang, we only on lesson number 9. Bear with me, y'all. I'm gonna move through. Lesson number 9. Okay, so now lesson number 8 was God, this is such a rude awakening for me. Like, it was everything. Lesson number 8, one of the most valuable lessons I've learned is no one is responsible for my joy. Oh, when I ate that, when I ate that lesson, when I digested that lesson that no one is responsible for my joy, that's when I began to own my power to create the life and experiences that I want. And that's how Walk in Power was born. That's how this podcast was born through the realization that I have the power create the life experiences, the emotions, the thoughts, everything that I really want in life. I have the power to create that, and I don't need to give that power away to anyone. For too many years, I gave my power away, hoping that if I did things for people, if I showed up for people in a certain way, if I gave and gave and gave and gave more of myself, eventually they would love me and I would be happy. I would be happy with the return of their love. But the reality is, they never returned love because they were still looking for me to give more. And the more I gave, the more of my power I gave away. Right? Yes. Oh, yes. I love that. Let to add to number 8, I learned no one owes me anything. Yes. Right? No one owes us anything. And that really goes back to, even when we give of ourselves, no one owes us, right? No one owes us anything back. If we're truly giving from our hearts, if we're truly giving from our souls, if we truly value the people we give to, there should be no expectation of something in return. And so learning the lesson of I am responsible for my joy, man, that's when I really started to experience joy. Learning how to create and make space and to schedule joy in my life without relying on others, without waiting for others to give me permission to have joy, to practice joy, to schedule joy, right? Like, people can contribute to your happiness. And people can contribute to your happiness. And I say that because happiness is temporary, right? We can listen, being on this podcast right now makes me happy. It's temporary. I'm going to shut down soon. Having this glass of water right here makes me happy. That's temporary. It's going to be done soon. I keep taking them big old gulps, right? And people pour into your life temporarily and then they're gone too. So happiness is flighty, but joy lives within. Joy is everlasting. Joy is something that you have access to at any time of the day, and you can decide to access your joy regardless of who is present. So I'm so grateful for that lesson because it was when I learned that lesson that I'm responsible for my joy that I really stepped fully into my business, that I stepped fully into myself, my authentic self, that I felt that I gave myself permission to just be me and do the things that make me happy without worrying about everyone else. Number 7, my past does not define me, but rather refines me. For so long, I suffered and struggled with the shame of my past. You know, having lost my parents, being adopted, going through molestation, struggling with addiction, DV, all of these things are things that I felt like made me worthless, right? Made me it like just not worth love, not worth other people's time and energy, just not worth anything. And I felt like it was the roadblock to the future that I really wanted for myself, the future that I really wanted to get out in the world and share and shine my light, really share my messages, really talk to people about the things that were on my mind because I always had something on my mind that I'd love to talk about. But the shame that I was struggling with made me hide. I was hiding in the background. I would never like really put myself out there because it was always like, what if people find out who I truly am? What if people find out what I went through? What if people find out about my domestic violence and the molestation that I experienced? What will they say about me? And so I so long allowed my past to hold me back. But when I began to step fully into my power, what I realized is that my past experiences and my past challenges actually were molding me and shaping me and refining me into this amazing woman that I am today. So now I can look back at those experiences and say, thank you. Thank you, because while they were there to break me, they were sent to break me, they actually gave me stairs to stand on, right? They actually gave me a story to tell. They actually gave me a message to inspire and encourage others who may have experienced similar challenges. So today, I'm so grateful for the refining of my challenges. And I want to encourage you as you are, stepping fully into yourself. And if you're on that journey of healing and self discovery and really working on seeing who you truly are and loving yourself, understand that everything that has happened in your past happened for you and not to you. It happened for you to have your story. It happened for you to really recognize what you're made of and what you're capable of. We came through the fire untouched, came through the fire. I'm not burnt. I'm standing tall. I'm standing strong. And so I'm grateful for everything in the past that happened for me. All right. Next, next, we this is a big one. Many of you know I had my first son at the age of 14, and that was also something I struggled with shame of, because I was made to feel ashamed for being pregnant at an early age. But as I'm raising children, and especially in my culture, the way children are raised and the discipline that we are raised with, you're told, and I've heard this many times in for others who are parenting, is that you represent me when you go out in the street. We tell our children, when you're out in the street, you represent me. So make sure you represent me well. And then when your kids go out in the street and they do crazy stuff, it makes you feel like, what did I do wrong? And the greatest lesson I learned in my 30s for parenting is my children are not a reflection of me, but they are their own people. They have their own minds, their own thoughts, their own goals, their own vision, their own emotions. And none of those things belong to me or are of me. And once I came to terms with that, I really was able to let go of this stronghold that I placed on my kids, trying to mold them into the people I believed they should be, so that they can begin to flourish into who they were created to be. I probably missed the mark with my first son because I didn't have these lessons yet. However, he is doing great. But with the second one, I've definitely learned how to lift and allow him to just be himself and to show up as himself in every space. And sometimes it works really well. And then there are times where it works against me because the boy be talking. And sometimes I want to just say, you know what? It's time for you to stop talking. Because these kids today, the things that come out of their mouth, like today, for example, I was watching some bees as they were pollinating. And, usually kids are really fascinated by these things. So I'm like, Gabriel, look, all of the bees and how they're pollinating the plants and going from like flower to flower. He said to me, respectfully, I don't care. Can you please open the door so I can go inside? Now, you know what? I had to respect that he didn't care. But this was years ago. I would be like, boy, I'll slap the. Right? So I have to respect thoughts. I have to respect his mind. I have to respect his feelings. And that took a while. Okay, girl, let me tell you something. I'm telling you, sis, it took a while. But I'm there now. And just allowing my kids to be who they are and who they're created to be has given me so much freedom. Right? Don't get me wrong. There were times the boy, okay, yes, thank you, thumbs up, has given me so much freedom. And there were times where, of course, as a mom, you get frustrated, like, "Ugh, why would you do that?" However, I have so much freedom in just allowing him to be himself, to speak his mind, to share his thoughts, to share his emotions, because I don't want him to grow up and be imprisoned in his mind, holding on to his thoughts, holding on to his emotions, not sure if he can share them, not sure if it's right for him to share them, and so on and so forth. And so I feel really proud about that. Right? He sure did. That boy was high. He was like, please open the house door and let me get inside. So that was definitely a valuable lesson. Lesson number 5 is living with intention paves the way for success. Prior to learning this lesson, I was literally like a leaf blowing in the wind. I would just take advantage of opportunities, take jobs, go to school, get this certificate, get this training, and just say, maybe if I get this, I'll make more money. Or maybe if I do this, I'll have a better life, blah, blah, blah. But nothing had a clear goal or vision attached to it. And it was when I began to be more intentional. And that intention, one, started with learning who I was. Becoming more intentional started with my self discovery journey, then identifying my values so that now when I make decisions, they're more aligned with who I truly am. So if there's something that I'm really not interested in, or I don't really see how that's going to help me achieve my goals, y'all already know what it is. If it doesn't align, I must decline. Pop that down there for a sister. If it doesn't align, I must decline. And it has been me living with more intention has opened the right doors. But not only has it opened the right doors, it has connected me to the right people. It has brought the right people in my life. I don't know if y'all can see my girl Regina up here on this feed with me, and she's been here with me, and I appreciate her for that. But it's living with intention that allowed me to have someone like Regina in my life, allowed me to have more people in my life that really align with the woman I'm becoming and the woman I desire to be. And so I had to learn what it was like to live with intention. And that meant that I had to let go of some old relationships. But not only that, I had to let go of some habits. I had to let go of some thoughts. I had to let go of just a lot of things that were actually holding me back because they did not align with where I'm going. And so being more intentional got me a TED Talk. Being more intentional got me starting a business, got me speaking in different places, got me getting hired to do workshops. Being more intentional means I'm only doing things that align with who I am. And if it doesn't align, baby, we got to decline. You have to. If you really want to manifest that life that you are dreaming of, that you are thinking of, that you are talking to people about, if you really, and if you're just logging on, we talked about manifestations and actions earlier on in the conversation. That if you really want to manifest that life, that success you're dreaming of, you have to take the right actions, and not just any old action, the right action. And the right action is what it means to be intentional. If you're taking an action and you're like, I don't really see how this is going to help me, chances are you shouldn't be doing it. If you're engaging with people who you're like, we don't really click, I don't really think that, this is a good relationship for me or a good friendship for me, honey, let it go. I am never afraid to clip. People always say, oh, people are not disposable. It's not about being disposable. It's about making the right decisions for your life. And if there are people in your life who you believe are not there to support, inspire, and encourage, honey, they're there to hold you back. All right. They're just there to watch you and hope that you fall. If they're not encouraging you, if they're not supporting you, if they're not asking you, how can I help? How can I be a part of this in any way? What are we here for? Because the reality is, we don't like the term of what do you bring to the table, but the reality is there should not be people in your life who are just placeholders, right? We don't need placeholders. We need space holders. Right, placeholders are just, oh, I'm just holding them there until I need them, or until no, space holders, people that take up space in your life in the right way, people that take up space in your mind in the right way, people that take up space in your energy in the right way. We don't need placeholders, we need space holders, right? And so think about when you're living with intention, How are you really being mindful about the people in your life, the actions you're making, the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? I love this. All right. So Regina says, my mom says people confuse being busy and productive. That's absolutely true. If you don't align, you must decline. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're moving forward. You could be busy walking in circles, baby. And you have to ask yourself, am I busy walking in circles, doing things that aren't taking me forward? Am I standing in neutral? Am I just being uncomfortable? Am I just being comfortable? Am I just living in a comfortable place? Right? These are the questions to ask yourself, and then making a conscious decision to take that uncomfortable action that's going to take you forward in your life. All right, I'm gonna move on now because y'all know it's getting late. And listen, y'all know I be talking, so I'm gonna move us along. All right, lesson number 4. This was a this was a big one. I know I said this about all of them, but they really are big. They really are big. Lesson number 4 is I am enough. Oh, if that wasn't a lesson, I don't know about you. I spent so much of my life trying to be more. And this is why I got 3 degrees and a whole bunch of certificates that I probably don't use. Like, everything I did was, what else can I do to be more valuable, to be more attractive, to be smarter, to just be more, right? To be more wanted, to be more loved, to be more desired. All the things. And I spent so much of my life trying to be more. And it took so much of my time and energy and consumed my thoughts in a big way. It wasn't until I began to own my power, take my power back, really see and value myself, really dive deep into my self discovery journey that led to my self love. If you haven't heard before, it's hard to love someone you don't know. So, self discovery is required, it is the pathway to self love. And when I began to see and love and accept myself for who I truly am, that's when I decided that I am enough for everything, for anything. I am enough. I have everything I need right now in this moment to be successful with what I need to be successful for in this moment. I am enough as a mom. I am enough as a significant other. I am enough as a friend. I am enough for myself. Believing that I am enough is when I started sleeping good, y'all. That's when I started sleeping good. Because you know that when you have those thoughts going around in your mind about what you got to do and how you're going to make yourself better so that you can get the job, so that you can get the relationship, so that you can do this, those things will consume your mind even while you're trying to sleep. That's the anxiety. And then when you don't believe you're enough, when you start thinking about what you should have done different, what you could have done different, that's the depression. We're living in the past, living in the future at the same time. That's insanity. That's insanity, right? So it was when I realized that I am enough. My sleep got better. Queen, you are enough right now. Even while you're striving towards the better, even better version of you, you are enough right now. You can love the woman you are today while you're working on the woman you're becoming. You are enough right now. Say it, declare it, wake up every morning and tell yourself in the mirror, I am enough. Put it in the chat. I am enough. I am enough right now. Right? I want to see you say it. I want to see you declare it. I am enough right now. It's that level of belief in your enoughness that will bring you peace, that will bring you clarity, but will also bring you joy. Believing in your enoughness right now. I'm a sip to that. I'm a sip to that. I am enough. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That's right. I am enough. That's right, ladies. All right. We moving up, y'all. So we are on valuable lesson number 3. And that is I am my only competition. I am my only competition. My goal is to be a better version of me than I was yesterday. In my past, I was always comparing myself to others, comparing my body to others, comparing my possessions to others, comparing my education to others, comparing my, I mean, compare, compare, compare. And here's the thing, if you haven't heard it before, comparison is the stealer of joy. It's also the stealer of peace. It's the thief, 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 thief of joy, thief of peace. Because guess what? We're all great. We're all great. We're looking to the left, we're looking to the right to see what that one's doing, how that one's doing. Oh my God, especially when I started my business and there were other women who I was inspired by and encouraged by. And, I would watch them and be like, oh my God, I hope I can be like them one day. I hope I can be as good as them one day. I hope I can, build my business like how they're doing one day. And I felt myself doing more watching than I was doing. I was spending more time watching what other people were doing, being inspired, and also while I was inspired, I was also discouraged. Oh my God, I got to drink to that. Can anyone relate? I just let me know I'm not alone. Every time I looked at someone who I believed was doing better than me, it discouraged me. It made me want to give up. I would say things like, I can't do it like they do it. I can't speak on stages like they speak on stages. I can't coach like they coach. I can't do reels like they do reels. I can't like they do. I can't like they do. I can't like they do. And the more I did that, the more my confidence went down, the more my self-esteem went down, the more my self-belief decreased. Everything went down, right? Yeah, right. So here, Regina's saying that she had to log off of social media because yes, right, those inspirations turned into low key hating. And here's the thing, and we don't realize that that's how we create our own misery. We create our own misery by watching what other people are doing and then comparing our greatness to theirs. We are all great. Say it. We are all great. We can look at our sisters doing great things, cheer them on, and continue to rise in our greatness. Oh, that one made me a little emotional because I remember the days when I told myself I didn't have what it takes because they was already doing it and they was doing it so much better than me. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Y'all know about the crabs in the bucket. And so when you're reaching out to people who you're inspired by and saying, hey, I would love an opportunity to talk to you, and they're just brushing you off or, treating you like a peasant. Listen, I had so much of that when I started in my coaching career. I never forget introducing myself to someone who inspired me. And I won't say her name because she's very well known here in Boston. But I went up, I'm doing my coaching thing. I'm out here, building my business. And I said, hey, I really love the way you spoke. Would love an opportunity to chat. And she said to me, if you need coaching, here's my card and you can schedule services with me. And I was like, and just pretty much just brushed me off like, okay, go on over there, little girl. And I was just like, damn, sis. It's like that. I, I, I was coming over here to give you flowers and to tell you I would love an opportunity to talk to you, sis. And it's even those things that will discourage you, right? That will make you feel like, damn, am I really not worth your time? Am I really not even worth a conversation? And I had that going on so much. But the more I worked on me, the more I poured into me, the more I began to say, you're lost. Because, baby girl, I'm great. Okay. I'm wonderful. It's a great thing to know a woman like me. It's a great thing to be in company with a woman like me. Because once you're in company with a woman like me, honey, we're going to rise together. So if you feel like I'm not worth your time and energy, no worries. Peace, my sister. Right? That's what I had to come to terms with. And the crazy part is today when these people see me, oh, what's up, Carmen? How you doing? I just be like, I'm mad, but keep that energy because you already showed me who you truly are and how you treat people. I don't want to be around anyone who treats people like that. I don't treat people like that, right? And so learning that the only person I have to focus on, watch, keep my eye on, be better than every day is me. I am my own competition. Queens, you are your own competition. The only person you need to be looking at is you. Stay in your lane. Keep your eyes forward on where you're going. It's okay to look over there every now and then and say, okay, I like that. I see what you're doing, sis. All right, sis, keep rocking. And then keep it pushing forward, right? You are your own competition. All right. Lesson number 2. I am never alone. What do I mean by that? You know, when we have strong black woman syndrome, the number one thing we say is, I did that all by myself. I have no help. I'm just out here trying to figure it out on my own. And as I've grown in my journey and in my healing, number one, I realized that God has always been with me. God has always been with me in this walk because there were things that I probably should not have made it out of. Situations I probably should not have made it out of. You know, places I've been where they were shooting and carrying on, and I probably should not have made it out of there. But God said, I am walking with you. I got you covered. So that was number one. But also, even though I struggled to ask for help, there were people along the way who just said, here, take this. Have you heard about this? I have something for you. People who have encouraged me, inspired me, loved me, made me realize that I am never alone. And even more now than ever before, I am surrounded by love. I am surrounded by support. I am surrounded by positive energy. And so, even though there are times in lives where we may feel lonely, I want you to know that you are never alone. Even if there's not a physical person there with you, God is always right there within reach to talk to cry to share your joy with. He's always within reach. But when we talk about physical or the people we know, if you feel lonely, is asking yourself, are the right people in my life? Or am I choosing to feel this way? Because we can choose it, right? Am I choosing to feel this way, or am I allowing the people in my life to really pour into me the way they want to? Or do I really want to keep my strong black woman cape on? Quick plug. We got the strong redefining strong black women conference coming up in October, where these type of conversations are are at the forefront of taking that cape off, redefining what it means to be a strong Black woman. My girl Regina is hosting that in October. I have been sending out emails about it. If you're not on my email list, make sure you shoot me a DM with your email address and I will add you so you get the information there. Regina, feel free to drop it in the chat. Let the people know. Drop the link in the chat, as a matter of fact, the link to the upcoming event. Drop that in the chat so people can click on it and know how they can begin to register for the Redefining Strong Black Women Conference. And we need more experiences like that. It's in those experiences where you can release the feeling of being lonely to really find your tribe and connect with the people who God wants you to be in aligned with, who God wants you to walk with, right? Who God wants you to bring your vision to life with. All right. We are down to number one, y'all, and we're doing real good on time. Take a sip to that. Take a sip to that. All right. Ooh, this is a real big one because this is something that would really say that I've learned over the past few months. And number one is I can be great now and later. As we are growing, when I was younger and earlier in my 30s, I thought about all the great things I wanted to do, but not sure of when it would happen or think, maybe later in my life that'll happen. Maybe when I'm in my late 40s and once I do this and once I do this, then I can be considered great. Then I can be seen as great once I accomplish this later in life. But the things that I have accomplished thus far, especially accomplishing my TEDx talk, helped me realize that I don't have to wait to be great. I can choose to be great now and later. Right? There is no limit to our greatness. The only limits that are on our greatness are the ones that we place on it. We place limits on our greatness. We place limits on our strength. We place limits on our value, thinking that something else needs to be happening in order for us to claim great. Baby, you great. You're great. Now, I feel like I already said that earlier in the podcast, is that we are all great right now. All of the women that I know, all of the women that are in my life are doing incredible things. I mean, life changing, empowering things for themselves, for their families, and for their community. If that's not greatness, sis, I don't know what is. And so I claim my greatness. I give myself permission to put great on my name. And I want to encourage you to give yourself permission to put great on your name. So that was my 10 valuable lessons 10 valuable lessons I learned in my 30s. And I hope that you guys really got something from this show tonight. It was a lot of fun to share, but it also inspired me and encouraged me to keep going. I'm celebrating my birthday this Friday with some of my closest friends and family. I am so excited about just being in company with my people because of the way they fill me up. Oh my God, they bring me so much happiness and allow my joy to overflow. So I really, really appreciate all of you. And this was definitely the birthday podcast. Definitely the birthday podcast. So happy birthday to me as I step into this new era of my life. I am so excited about the things that are about to happen for me. I feel it deep down, y'all. I feel it deep down that some great things are about to happen for me and for you. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, walk in power.